I just learned the hard way that logical solutions and practical solutions are a Venn diagram where not everything is in the middle. Boys, we've got the bowl. We've got 3 eggs and 85 grams of 93.7 beef. We've also got it's a Gatorade, but it's made with the powder, and I made it not as Gatorade-y because I just want the benefits from the electrolytes and not the recovery aspect from the sugars. So it also makes it a little tastier than just regular water. So we're leaning into that and trying to get myself a little more hydrated. And then to counter that, we've got some coffee to make me less hydrated, because coffee and caffeine is a diuretic, and that makes you less hydrated. And Buddy is, in fact, yelling at us because he ate his food and his breakfast too fast, and he now wants to be included in everything. Little does he know, he's getting a walk in like 5 minutes. All right, boys, we've got a chocolate chip bagel here and 45-ish grams of honey and a little guy. What's up, bud? You're making cute faces thinking that you're going to get food? No? Okay, bye-bye. Hey, get out of the trash. No. I forgot to record the Buddy walk, but Buddy got walked. And I'm in the office that I'm trying to steal. And because I've got a couple clients that need programs, and I need a little extra time in between meals. So we're doing some programming, boys. Programming complete. It's kind of difficult to program for this client because he's recovering from an injury. So we're finally getting back to some things associated with the injury, and we're able to work on the stabilizers around it. So it's a little bit of a it's fun but not fun at the same time, because he's not going to be lifting heavy, but it's really weird, nuanced things that might be fun because it's a lot of balance related. But we got the bowl. We've got 200 grams of Berry Colossal Crunch, which is not Captain Crunch. It is Walmart brand Captain Crunch. I prefer regular Captain Crunch. I don't like the berries as much, but they don't have the big bags of the regular Captain Crunch, so we go with the Berry Colossal Crunch. So let's have a moment of silence for the death of the roof of my mouth. So I opened up this video saying that logical solutions are not always practical solutions, right? So I've been trying to find a daily routine, because the way that I'm forced to do things is not vibing, or it's not sustainable. So I tried to find a more sustainable solution. So I started doing biphasic sleep cycles, which means I have things to do at 7 a.m., 3:30 p.m. So I don't have enough time to do work in between not waking up, but like getting all my food in, do training and food and stuff like that between 7 and 3. So I decided, let me just push some things back a little bit and do a biphasic sleep cycle. And so I would work from like 6 p.m. to 2 a.m., something like that, and sleep from 2 to about 6:45, do what I had to do at 7, go back home, sleep for another 4-ish hours, and then kind of eat, do a little bit of, eat 2 meals and some of the stuff that I have to do throughout the day, and then go do what I have to do at 3:30, and then repeat the cycle. That does not take a rocket scientist to realize that's not going to work. So, I actually collapsed multiple times this weekend because I was too burnt out, and that's probably my largest character flaw, is that I will push myself until I collapse. It's happened either physically or mentally, and it's happened over 5 times, and there's like not really any solution other than, well, the solution is to take better care of myself and say no more often to other people. But I have not learned how to do that yet. And I'm not one partial to getting yelled at frequently, aggressively, because I say no. Because it's ingrained in me to get taken advantage of. So, I'm a little behind on what I want to do today because I ate that cereal and then I got in a depressive funk and didn't really do anything and just doom scrolled for a bit. But so I'm not going to get the insulin response that I want from that meal going into training. But I got my protein shake here. Got to take my pre-workout and then we're going to be off to the gym. I need to clean that shaker cup. It's starting to smell a little funky. Alright boys, we just took our pre-workout. I don't record that because I'm pretty sure YouTube would flag it since it's nectar from Better Through Biology. It's injectable carnitine and choline. You can get that stuff at GNC. It's just we're skipping the kidney processing of it by doing it intramuscular. And I'm pretty sure YouTube doesn't like it when there's anything like that on any sort of video or page. So it is Monday, and Mondays we have a accessory day, and we've been having the same accessory day for a hot minute, and we're just not linearly progressing through it, because that would imply that we are increasing the load every week. Linear progress doesn't really work for anyone above beginner level of strength. So what we're doing is it's almost like a stimulus progression through it. So if the whole concept of the day is based off of systemic fatigue. If you look at the body as a system of almost like a network of components, you come to realize that you've got mental fatigue, which, I mean, I'm dealing with a lot of that right now, but that's not what this day is for. I've just got to deal with that on other things. You've got systemic fatigue, where it's basically like you're running on fumes and you're pushing really hard all the time. And then there's systemic inflammation. And systemic inflammation is the one that we're really trying to tackle with... Oh, I just ran a stop. Nothing. I didn't say anything. Systemic inflammation is what we're trying to attack with this training day, because we've been pushing the numbers a little bit. We haven't necessarily gone really heavy. We're doing a lot of volume right now, and a lot of volume puts a lot of stress on the joints, a lot on the ligaments, on the muscle fibers themselves. So you build up a large, not savings account, but a stash of inflammation and fatigue. And the fatigue is easily manageable. That's just eating right, drinking right, sleeping right. But the inflammation is a little bit more difficult to deal with. So you almost have to go about it differently in order to deal with it. Almost like the body's almost like teeth. You got to floss it a bit. You can brush it all you want, but if you're not flossing, you're going to end up with something not good. And the something not good in this case is inflammation-related injuries. So the whole goal of this training day, this accessory bodybuilding style day to prepare the system for the heavier loads, the compound movements that we're going to be doing throughout the rest of the week, is to make sure that we are pretty much primed and ready. And also, if you've been following me for a while, you'll probably have heard me say this a billion times: accessory movements are stretching under a load. So to deal with inflammation, you've got to drink right, and you got to be hydrated. That's a no-brainer. But you also want to be stretching, and you want to increase the elasticity of your muscles through movements that stretch it. So if you're cutting a lot of your movements short, if you're only moving them, if you're ego lifting technically, and you're doing partial reps where it's like you're not getting you're not feeling a stretch when you're at the bottom position of a movement or at the full extension of a movement, and you're leaning into the load weight of whatever is going on, then you're missing the flossing point. So stretching under load, you can progress the stretches when things feel better, when you get stronger. What it does is increases the elasticity of the muscles, and also I mean, everyone's like, oh, I need to stretch more. You by increasing the elasticity on your muscles, you're reducing the tightness and the systemic inflammation of your body in those specific spots. Your ligaments tend to be the first things that really go, and that's usually what happens when someone gets injured really badly. Is their ligaments, either they snap off at the bone or they snap at some portion along the length of the fibers. So you increase the elasticity of your muscles, you reduce the amount of inflammation, because the inflammation is compromising to the structure of your ligaments, which is why things hurt. It's why your knees hurt, it's why your elbows hurt, it's why your rotator cuffs hurt, is because you've got a lot of inflammation and your body's saying, hey, this spot is not feeling good, it is compromised. If you continue to do what you do, then it's gonna end up breaking, probably, if you do it wrong enough. It's almost like how every machine is a smoke machine if you use it wrong enough. Every movement is dangerous if you do it wrong enough, or if you do it wrong enough for long enough or frequently enough, then you develop the intrasystem fatigue and intrasystem inflammation that you need to recover from through time out of the gym. So if you don't want to spend time out of the gym waiting around, checking your watch, checking the clock to make sure I've spent enough time icing and recovering, elevating, all that stuff, then you want to do the stretching under load. Approach your accessories as if it's stretching under a load, because you'll build strength, you'll build that elasticity, and things will end up feeling better. It's really weird walking around right now, going from the old school powerlifting method where you just go heavy and really hard, pretty much akin to ego lifting without like accepting that it's ego lifting, for a while, where you're going as heavy as possible, as frequently as possible, and just hoping the system doesn't give out. And going from that and just kind of feeling gross all the time, where my shoulder, I had an impinged shoulder for 7 years straight because I had bad inflammation. Whenever I went over 500, I would have to go into the fetal position until it stopped spasming. Like, that's now that doesn't happen. Now I've approached my everything, like my accessories, like stretching under a load, more recovery, more athletic, kind of centered philosophy when it comes to the accessories. But we're coming up on the gym any minute now. So what we've got today, we've got revert. I mean, I haven't looked at it, but I've done it so many times that I've memorized what the day it is. It's reverse grip, lat pull down. We've got head supported dumbbell flies, supersetted with hex push-ups. And then we've got incline dumbbell bench. I believe it's the set of 20, and then slow 6. And then I think we've got dumbbell seesaw row. And then we've got dumbbell curls, 3 sets of 20. And then, dumbbell curls heavier, 3 sets of 8 with more rest time there. So that's what we got going on today. So pucker your cheeks and get ready, because Daddy is going to be lifting. Let's go, boys. So you know how Oprah says the camera adds 10 pounds? That's a lie. Well, I guess it could be a lie. It could depends on what she means, because today we got a pretty sick pump, but the pump check, we were so whitewashed from the lighting that I couldn't see any of the vascularity that I could see with my eyes. And it was kind of saddening. I was like, I want to show the people that my forearms and my biceps are starting to look like a porn star's cock. And then the camera was like, no, that's grotesque. We're not gonna, that's frowned upon. So today we had a pretty good day. We started off with the underhand lat pull downs, emphasizing the stretch at the top, trying to get a 2-count stretch going on there. And well, it is what it is. We used 130 pounds, and that was a little too light for me today. I didn't get a super deep stretch. I didn't get a super deep lat pump either. So we're gonna have to go up on that. We were doing sets of 12 with that, so we have to go up. I think I said I had to go up last time, and I wasn't sure if I went up to 130s or 150. I don't know, but next time we're doing it with 150, if I remember this note. And then we went on to the head-supported rear delt flies with the hex push-ups, and we tried to emphasize the range of motion on the hex push-up, and almost like a plyometric kind of thing going on, where we really only applied muscle force at the bottom, but we tried to kind of thruster it and let the afterburners take us close enough to lockout, and then restart the process of doing a push-up. And that was a 3x12, 90 seconds rest on those. Then we got into the incline dumbbell bench. We've been doing that with 70s for a hot minute, and it's like everything else seems to be progressing, but it's almost like this one isn't progressing. It's almost getting harder. And I think it's the intra training session fatigue going on there, where all the muscles that are pivotal, like the lats, the shoulders, and that was a toll-free scam call. Sorry, guys. All the muscles used in the hex push-ups kind of getting extra fatigued because we're leaning into it a little more. The muscle usage a little more. So things are getting fatigued a lot more during the training session, and we're kind of speeding our way through. So we're not exactly allowing ourselves to get too well rested while we're training. Then we moved on to the seesaw dumbbell zero acceleration row. Those are, we moved up to 55s last week. We got a pretty decent lat pump going on there, and a little bit of a lat stretch going on, which is exactly what you want. And it wasn't easy, it wasn't hard. It wasn't, there was still a level of difficulty left, but it wasn't, when you have a video game screen and you're like easy, medium, hard, expert kind of. So it was hard. It wasn't expert, if that makes sense. Then we moved on to the dumbbell curls. Now here's where I started messing up. Here's where the crux of the training day was a little iffy. So we did the we're supposed to have 30 seconds rest, and when I'm in the gym, and whenever someone asks for help, I try to help them out, kind of be the leader of the gym and support others in their pursuit of strength and strength goals. So there was a homie who needed help with the monolift, so I hopped in. So I had a little bit longer than 30 seconds rest on my last set of 20. So we did 3x20 and 30 seconds rest for the most part, except for that last set. And then we moved on to heavier dumbbell curls. I remember I had a note in the back of my mind that we went up last week, and I thought we went up to 60s last week. I pulled the 60s out, and you can see on my face, and I'm like, no, this was not what we went up to. And you can see I'm shaking my head while I'm doing the dumbbell curls, and I'm like, no, because I was not happy with the control that I was portraying with these dumbbell curls. I don't want to be swinging. I don't want to be like jerking my upper body to try and like fake how it's supposed to look when it's locked out kind of deal going on there. because that's just proof of lack of strength and lack of control at lockout or at the top of the movement. And I want to be strong in every range of motion possible, so that's an unacceptable amount of wiggle room going on there. So for sets 2 and 3, we dropped down to the 50s, and since we had that preset fatigue going on with the 60s, we had a little bit of a struggle keeping up with the control factor going on there when we were doing sets 2 and 3 with the 50s. We probably should have dropped down to the 40s and have the average weight of the movement be 50 pounds, but we didn't. And I mean, it always sucks when you have to humble yourself and take a step back and be like, okay, I was not honest with my abilities and I am not that strong. I mean, I can curl 150s, but it's just ugly. And I don't want things to be ugly. I want things to be controlled, because when things are controlled, when you have a really good control, good stimulus going on while you're training, that's when you get the most muscle growth. That's what optimizes the muscle growth. That's the difference between old school lifting and the current meta for lifting, is the amount of control that lifters are putting into their accessory work and the methods in which they're going about things. They're not just wasting their time trying to move as much weight as possible. They're trying to move as much weight as possible, as controlled as possible. So they're not lifting as heavy, but they're lifting better and they're getting better results. So they're lifting heavier when it matters. And that's the main difference and change that I want to implement and continue forward with in my accessory work. So that was the training day. Pump check didn't look too good because we got whitewashed. I guess we haven't been getting outside as much as we should, and so we're looking a little pale. So the vasculature, the vascularity is not popping up as much in the photos, not the videos, the pump check. So I don't know how we can work on that. That's just genetically, we're very pale. This is as dark as I get. I'm very pale. I am actually tanned for my own personal level of darkness, if you would believe that. Back in high school, people used to put pieces of paper next to me and be like, whoa, the paper is darker. They're the same shade. So, anyways, just got home, got to eat. And we have our first subbing job tomorrow. It's a half day. We're doing lunch recess supervision kind of deal going on there, where we basically just look intimidating and make sure that the kids don't Lord of the Flies each other. And it's at an elementary school, so I mean, if I look scary enough, I should be good. And it's only like 3 hours worth of work, so $60, 3 hours, not too shabby of a deal. And what's funny is I got, when you become a sub, you have to get background checks on you, and it takes a little bit of time. And so it came through, and they're like, you can start tomorrow. And I'm like, this is the last week of school. So the only jobs that are on the database for subbing, because they don't do calls anymore. I remember back in the day when they used to call subs and be like, hey, do you want this job? No? Okay. How about this one? And they just go through the list. And now it's all online on a database. And it's pretty easy to navigate. And there's an app on the phone. So the only jobs for this week are the half-day lunch recess at the elementary school. So I used to be a substitute teacher in the middle school and high school back in 2020, 21 kind of era. So I know the deal. It's just avoid middle school, because middle schoolers are the devil. That is a fact. Anyone out there with kids can confer. Because it's that weird time where they're young enough where they still want everyone's attention, but they're old enough that they're getting these urges and they don't really know how to properly express them or do with anything with their body. So they just, it's a whole whirlwind of
hormones and whatnot, and it's not cool to be around. High school, they just want to sleep. And like, I'm the sub who's just like, if you're sleeping, you're not my problem and you're not disturbing anyone else, so we are good. If you are in the corner of my classroom watching a movie but not disturbing anyone else, we are good. That is actually something that happened. Some kids pirated was it Godzilla vs. King Kong movie when it came out back in 2021, and they were like, "Hey, can we use the projector?" I was like, I want to say yes, but also I know I should say no. So if you guys go in the corner and don't disturb anyone else, you can do what you want. Just don't disturb anyone else. Make sure you have all your work done, and don't let any of this come back on me, okay? Whatever. Okay, go. I'm not gonna have to deal with that in the elementary school, because I'll just, probably Bill Belichick with the whistle. I don't know. But I gotta go eat. I'm hungry. Daddy's got some mules brewing. Let's go, boys.
I forgot to cook my rice before I went into the gym. So I prepared my rice, and I was like, what's something I can do quickly while this rice cooks so that I can eat a hot meal when it is ready? So I set up my monitor system. I've got arms that I had to set up, and I got my notebooks. I got the warranties, instruction manuals, extra ink cartridges for my pen. There's a bunch of pens that I'll never use except for the one fountain pen, and I got my computer all set up. So hopefully this motivates me, or not motivates, but allows me to be a little bit better with why is that monitor tilted? With my writing, because I do have a fiction book in the works that I've been writing for a while. Let me actually look it up. Since I'm at my computer, I have access to my stuff. So it's a fiction book, and I recently got pretty much addicted to audiobooks through progression fantasy, which is a style. It's if you don't know what it is, you should probably look it up. But it's basically, you start from zero, and then you grow the character along with the world, and it kind of expands. So what I have right now is 36 chapters long. It's about 70,000 words. I don't know where and when. The last chapter that I wrote is garbage, and I know it. But I wrote it in Joe Sullivan's kitchen when I was Joe Sullivan and Brownie Terry's kitchen when I was out in Vegas with them back in March. So I need to get back to writing that. It's oh, let me see. Full book. What's book? Yeah, I don't have a title for it. I need help with a title, because I also want to record the audiobook for this, and one of the ways that a lot of audiobook narrators get notoriety is by doing a lot of free stuff. And yeah, it's kind of so basically what I plan on doing is starting a second channel where I do not care whether or not it gets monetized with the views. I'm not even going to check any of that. This one is my main channel. Literally all it is chapters of audiobook narration from books from Royal Road, which is a internet, people write web novels, and sometimes they get published, sometimes they don't. Like one of the top web novels out there would be like Beware of Chicken, Mother of Learning. It's a lot of it's progression fantasy, so it's a very popular genre. But I want to record the audiobook for my book, put it onto that second channel,
but I need a title for my book before I do that, and then also a cover. So I can go out there. I can go to Royal Road, ask authors, hey, I'm a new audiobook narrator. I would like to ask permission to record your book and post it online, to share your story with other people on a non-monetized YouTube channel. Not monetized as of, you don't want to be profiting off of someone else's work. You want it to be free. So you got to specify it's a not monetized YouTube channel. And basically the purpose of the channel is to get the name out there. And the growth doesn't really matter as long as authors, they zone in. They're like, hey, I actually like this audiobook narrator. They see the progress as a narrator. You've got your different voices and everything, your narration speed and everything kind of up there. And they get to see full examples. And if you go through and you record many, many books, you're not necessarily going to get money from it, but you'll get notoriety, and that leads to the money. It's like, you got to spend money to make money. You got to spend time to make money, because time is money. Transitive property there. Got to think there. All right, boys, we've got the bowl. Now, I was supposed to be. Oh, why can't I? There's my face. I was supposed to have 2 meals, but I got hyper focused and missed a meal. And I was thinking, let me just do the other meal, so the 2 meals that I was supposed to eat get out of here, post training, 400 grams of white rice, 245 grams of chicken with whatever condiments I need, and then 400 grams of rice, 70 grams of guacamole, and 220 grams of beef. So I was gonna do the beef meal. I was like, that's the best meal, and then we're gonna finish off with a protein shake and some carbs, probably some liquid carbs, in order to finish off and get the majority of the macros and calories in for the day. Just because we messed up getting hyper focused and running out of time. Because I'm supposed to get to bed a little bit earlier than I have been, because I got work in the morning, and because I'm going to be a lunch recess person at the local elementary school. And so I was like, let me just do the beef meal. I look in the fridge, I don't have guacamole. And I'm like, so I need fats. I need calories, I need fats. So we came up with this meal, which is a kind of a different take, a higher fat take on one of the rest day meals that I have. So we have the bowl. The bowl has 7 ounces of pasta uncooked, and then we cooked it with 220 grams of beef, 360 grams of red sauce, and we added in some cheese to kind of fill out the fat. So if you kind of followed that logic train of, we need calories, we need fats, cheese is a great source of fat and protein, and it was either this or nacho cheese, and putting nacho cheese on rice just sounded worse than masturbating with sandpaper. It could be good. I don't know. Mexican rice. I don't know. But this is what we made. We're going to eat this, and then we're going to bed. So I'm going to edit this video and get it out to you guys a little early tonight. I say that, and then it's not going to be early at all. But if you like the video, did I do an analysis? I did do an analysis. That's like the most important part, is me analyzing how my training went, which is the only part that most people watch. But you homies who are here, I appreciate you. If you like the video, leave a like, subscribe, share with someone if you felt like it was shareable. All else, see you guys in the next one.